This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, everybody. My name is Eric Jones with Snap Delivered, and today we're going to go over what it takes to onboard a restaurant. So I just thought I'd turn on my camera just for a second, but because it sometimes makes the recording a little scratchy, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I just thought it might be nice to see who's actually talking with you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen also, and we're going to jump in here. All right, so hopefully you can see my screen now, and I'm going to switch over to the presentation here. All right, so the presentation that we're going over today is how to onboard restaurants. Now, if you have not already seen a presentation about who Snap Delivered is, what the value proposition is to you as a consumer, to the restaurants, if you don't already know that part, then that is something that you should probably go through first before you see this. This is just teaching you how to actually go through that process of onboarding a restaurant. Not the purpose of this presentation is not to give you a big overview of who Snap Delivered is, why you would want to work for Snap Delivered or any of that. So hopefully that's already taken place. You've already seen that, and so we're going to jump in here, and I'm going to show you how once you decide to go ahead and work with Snap Delivered, how to onboard restaurants. And this is from personal experience. I've done it myself. I've been out there, talked to restaurants. I've delivered food, things like that. So I hopefully have enough experience here that I'm able to share some insights that are going to help you out along the process. So we're going to dive right in here. Let's see here. There we go. So why speak with us? Why would restaurants want to speak with us? And that is the key question here, because if you don't understand that, if you don't know how to answer that question, then it's going to be very hard for you to go and talk to restaurants. And so you've really got to understand that first. And hopefully you've seen this before or something like it. Snap Delivered provides an exceptional value to restaurants. And so when we talk about, if you look kind of near the bottom of the screen there, it says, other third-party delivery apps charge 20 to 40%, or 8 to 16 bucks, depending on the size of the order, to order or to deliver food for the restaurant. That is a very real number. It's not something we're not just pulling numbers out of a hat. That is something that actually happens every day. And I've talked to restaurants in this area. A very big player in the game is DoorDash, and so a lot of people use them. And so 30% is very common. When I talk to restaurants, 30% is something that I hear all the time. And I have restaurants that have told me that in order to increase or in order to deliver food through DoorDash or through any of these, right, they had to increase their rates by 30% just to make a profit. So now not only are you paying the delivery fee, but you're actually also paying 30% more than what you would have paid had you just gone into the restaurant and ordered the food there. Great service, but is it 30% plus delivery fees more of a value? And that's where restaurants are having a really hard time with these other third-party delivery apps. In fact, when you talk to them, they will tell you how they feel about these other apps, and it's not a good thing. And so you can see with Snap Delivered, obviously our value is $2 flat rate per delivery. So going back to this other restaurant that I told you, increase their rates by 30%. When I talked to them about Snap Delivered, they were super excited about it. And what he told me was, do not use his online menu, use the restaurant menu, the one that he has in-house, so that we do not charge the additional 30%. He said, if I can save my customers money and charge them what I feel is appropriate without charging the additional 30% so that I can pay DoorDash, hey, I am totally on board. And so that happens, and it's definitely something, as far as the value we're able to provide to restaurants, it's a big deal. So just $2, no activation fee, no percentages, no contracts, no exclusivity. We make it super easy for restaurants to do business with us and to work with us to deliver their food. And so I'm just going to show you actually what this, when we talk about the saving $75,000 a year, some people don't realize how realistic that is. And so I'm going to pull up my calculator here. And I'm just going to type in, so you can see there underneath annual cost, it's the last column in that spreadsheet area. It says 7,500 deliveries. So 7,500 divided by 52 weeks a year, divided by 7 days in a week. So it comes out to about 20 deliveries a day. Now, if 20 deliveries a day, that is pretty normal. Obviously, you're going to run into restaurants that do 10 deliveries a day. I've run into restaurants that do 75 deliveries a day, or even 150 deliveries a day is something that is realistic. So 20 deliveries a day is not, a crazy number that we pull out of a hat. That's a realistic number. So $75,000 a year, and again, it says at $40 an order. So again, that's a very conservative number. Typically, $40 to $50 is a pretty average online delivery amount. And so $40 is kind of on the low end. So 75,000 a year is actually a very realistic number. And so when we go into a restaurant, we can confidently say, that we provide that. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and start it. We provide that benefit for them, and you don't have to, be wondering, is this something that is actually going to save them money? Absolutely. So you can be confident. Absolutely, we are going to save them $75,000 a year. So anyway, so think like the restaurant owner. Obviously, when you walk into a restaurant, you've got to understand where they're coming from, what they're up against. So they are very busy. These are, restaurants are a business, a type of business that works long hours from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night, or maybe 10 p.m. at night. But not your 8 to 5 Monday through Friday type business. This is long hours. They don't have much of an evening. A lot of owners are working 7 days a week in a lot of cases. And so the fact that, and also they're dealing with lower wage employees. That's just a industry statistic. Restaurants typically have employees that they pay a little less than the industry average, right? Or then not the industry average, sorry, what businesses might typically pay employees. And so they're also working with 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, whereas a lot of businesses hire, over 18, or, things like that. So you just have to be aware of these things when you're walking in. Be aware that their profit margin is not very high. That they work with a tight profit margin, tight budget. They're very focused on profit, right? So when they run coupon deals or run marketing ads, things like that, it's all to bring in more customers, to sell more food. And so if you can find ways to increase their profit by bringing in more customers to sell more food, that's what they're looking for. And that's what you really need to be focused on as you communicate with them and as you build that relationship. And so if you can really show them that value, then they're going to be a lot more willing to trust you and hear you out, right? They decide the fate of the restaurant and their employees, not just themselves. So professionalism, obviously, yes, be professional, but more importantly, be a professional. In other words, you are the expert. So act like it. Don't just, go in and use words like, yeah, I think this will, or yeah, this might help, things like that. Don't act like somebody who is just presenting something that, yeah, it's possible it might help out. Be the expert. Say, you know what, I specialize in working with restaurants to help them increase their profit margin or help them bring in more customers, things like that. This delivery system will increase your profits. This delivery system will save you on average $75,000 a year. Be confident, but be friendly. Obviously, you don't want to be what's the word? Prideful, or you don't want to be boastful, but just make sure that you're friendly and confident, and they'll trust you if you're the expert. And if you act like the expert, people trust those that are confident in what they're doing. So you've got to make sure that you use confident words, be concise, build the relationship while using concise statements, be interested in their business, ask questions, that's one of the best ways to build relationships is by asking questions. Be genuinely interested in what they're doing, what their restaurant offers, all these things. You want to be a cheerleader for them, for their business. And so you do that by asking questions to understand what they're facing, what challenges they're facing. And then, of course, once you do that, now you've uncovered a need. By asking questions, you frequently uncover needs, and then we provide solutions. That's what salespeople do. We simply provide solutions to their need. And a lot of people do it backwards. They say, hey, here's a solution to these needs, without ever finding out if their need is relevant, or if that truly is a need that they face. And so by asking questions, you uncover the need, and then you provide the solution. So strategies for meeting with owners: drop by and be personable. That's one of the best things you can do, is just go out, get in the community, stop by restaurants, and be personable. Be somebody that that people come to know as the third-party delivery person, right? Add irresistible value. And I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. I'm just going to go through this real quick, and then I'm going to jump over to what I do to bring restaurants on board. Beware the gatekeeper who appears to be the DM. DM stands for decision maker. So a lot of times when we're talking to people, we think that they're the decision maker because, again, they're confident, right? They know what their job is. Their job is to keep you away from the restaurant owner who's super busy. And so if you're talking to a gatekeeper, you have to kind of be aware that, are they actually the owner, or is it just somebody that's designed to hold that spot? In the sales world, you're going to get 7 no's to every yes. So in other words, you're going to hear, not 7 no's to every yes, you're going to hear no 7 times on average before you get a yes. That's how it goes. So just be aware that some people are going to say no 14 times before they say yes. Some people are going to say no 2 times or 1 time. Some people are going to say yes right away. The point is that be aware that you're going to hear no's. Now, with what we do, it's actually, I think that this industry average doesn't really apply to us, because I actually don't hear no's as much because of the value, the amount of value that we provide. It's a lot easier to get a yes, and I'm going to go over that again here in just a second. Time of day matters. Do not stop by, between 11:30 and 1:30, after 5:30, during their lunch rushes, dinner rushes, things like that. Be aware of when they're going to have a little bit more time. Be courteous. Be willing to wait. If they say, and I kind of say that hesitantly, because you don't want to be like, a pushover and, oh, meet next month. Okay, yeah, no problem. You want to suggest times. You want to be optimistic, or what do you call that? I can't think of the word. Anyway, you want to be able to present times to meet, and just expect them to want to meet with you because of what you have to offer. But be willing to wait too. If they say, you know what, I've got this huge deadline, I'm going to be on vacation, I'm going to, whatever it might be, I'm going to be out of town. Be willing to say, you know what, yeah, let's meet next week. Let's, whatever time works for you. You can't meet today, no problem. Let's meet, next week or tomorrow or something. But again, don't be a pushover. You got to understand that you've got to take you've got to be a little assertive in approaching restaurant owners. So anyway, so I'm going to actually skip over here to let's see here, to this page. So this is a Facebook page that I created. So when I walk into a restaurant, I'm going to actually tell you exactly what I do. And because I come from an industry as an insurance agent where I work business to business, so I am used to going into businesses and setting up meetings with business owners. The restaurant world, I have found, is very different from the rest of the business world when it comes to setting up appointments with business owners. And so when I talk with a restaurant owner, or excuse me, when I walk into a restaurant, my approach is a little different, because I tried the whole approach when I first jumped in here of taking in, a flyer in an envelope, putting a little piece of candy in it so that it stands out more, got, that personal touch, and then dropping that off and following up with them, giving them calls and trying to set up an appointment with the business owner. I tried that, and it's hard. And then that's where you're going to run into, a lot of follow-up, a lot of calls, trying to get them at the right time. But I'm going to tell you, this works great. And I was very hesitant to use this at first because I thought, It's just a lot of, or maybe not a lot more steps, but a few more steps in the process that I didn't know that I had time for. But I will tell you, if you use this, you are going to save time versus all the follow-ups that you're going to do if you don't use this method. And you might have a different method. Feel free to try it and let me know. But I found that this method works out really well. And how it works is you set up a business page, right? It's Idaho Eats, just a page where you kind of create your own business. And this is absolutely free to do. You don't have to set up anything else. You don't have to have an LLC or anything like that. You just set up a page and you just make sure that it's not being used elsewhere. So I titled mine Idaho Eats. And so, you can see there to get to it, you just type in @Idaho Snap Delivered, and then that'll take you to my page. But it looks nice, looks professional. I took some time. I set it up. If it takes you more than an hour, you're probably taking too long. It shouldn't take you too long. Just create something nice. I probably took a little longer than I needed to, but the point is you want it to look professional so that when you walk into a restaurant, it looks nice. And so when I walk into a restaurant, I don't even mention Snap Delivered. I just say, hey, look, my name is Eric Jones. I'm with Idaho Eats. It's a local Facebook page, and we specialize in working with restaurants to help them build connection with the community, to highlight what makes them different, and make sure that that customers or that the community recognizes the value that you provide to them. And so I would like to schedule a quick 5-minute Facebook Live event. Should just take me 10 minutes to get, come in, get things set up and do a quick 5-minute Facebook Live event. In order to do that, I do need to talk with the restaurant owner. Obviously, the community has an interest in knowing who owns the restaurant, and just building that connection is a big deal to our community members. And so, hold on 1 second. There we go. Should silent my phone there. But so it's really important to, as you talk to, when you walk into a restaurant, provide that value, and it's at no cost to the company. And so, let's see. So what I would do then is, you can see here as I go down the list, it says, I'm actually going to keep going down here. So these are some Facebook Live events that I did. So, for example, here's Abracadabras. Here's Pitmaster Barbecue. Great company. If you're in Idaho and have a chance, swing by Pitmaster Barbecue. You can see there's the owner there, and it was just a great experience. And if I scroll through here, you can see that during that Facebook Live event, she basically cut up some food, made a meal for me, and actually gave it to me afterwards. It was delicious. It's called what's that? Nachos, Idaho nachos. It's made with French fries instead of chips, and it was awesome. But anyway, during that event, she was able to talk about her restaurant, what makes them different, unique, things like that. And it was super easy. It's super easy to get these appointments because it's absolutely free to the company. It's free connection, free advertising, free marketing. And so sitting down with the restaurant owner and getting that set up is, it makes it way easier than if you were to go in and say, hey, I'm with Snap Delivered, and we are another third-party delivery app, which of course they are very aware of the different apps out there, and it just feels like it's the same as everybody else, right? And so you want to be a little different, and this is one way to do that, is to do this absolutely free thing for them, and then and then post it online, and you obviously you can see that I linked their company on there, and anyway, it's fun too. I'm not the most the best salesperson out there, so this is kind of going outside my bubble a little bit, but actually talking with restaurant owners and doing this thing, I found it to be pretty fun. You just have make sure that you keep a list of questions on hand or in your mind, kind of practice a little bit beforehand so that you know what questions to ask, things like that. Things that I ask are, why did you start this business? What makes you guys unique? What's the food that you make that puts you on the map, right? That makes you famous, things like that are the questions that you're going to want to ask. And so anyway, you can see I've just, and I will tell you, just about every one of the restaurants that I've done these meetings with, I think I've signed up if not all, like 95% of them. And so this is a super easy way to get in front of a restaurant. And then of course, after I'm done with the Facebook Live event, then I just say, hey, look, you have just 5 minutes. So this Facebook page, even though it's not something that Snap Delivered has asked me to do to set up, I will tell them, hey, this Facebook page is actually sponsored by Snap Delivered. We're a local third-party delivery app. Do you have just 5 minutes? I just want to show you what it is that we do. And so what this has done now is now it made it so that you're talking directly to the owner, not the gatekeeper, and you've just provided them with a free value. So now obviously they're a little bit more open to listen to you. I mean, it just does all sorts of things when you're able to do something like this. And so I strongly recommend that you do something in this regard, or if you have a method that works for you, that, you know, if you come from this industry, you know, whatever you want to do, just find a way to provide value to the restaurant aside from Snap Delivered that's free, and it'll get you through the doors a little faster than just saying, hey, I'm with a third-party delivery app. So hopefully that helped. And then when I actually sit down with them, I'm going to switch back here. When I sit down with them, and after I've done the Facebook Live event and completed that process, I will say, hey, look, I just want to show you a quick 5-minute Facebook, or excuse me, a quick 4-minute video that'll explain who we are faster than I can explain it myself. Now, if you don't have access to that 4-minute video, of course, you can see there the link is 4minutevid.com. Use the flyer, use something, make sure that it looks professional, and you can explain it in 4 minutes yourself. I just like to use the phrase, hey, can I just show you this quick 4-minute video? It explains it in 4 minutes, and it explains in 4 minutes what usually takes me 15 minutes to explain. And then, you know, if you have any questions, love to answer those, but it would be super quick. And so I just make it super simple for them to watch the video. Then after the video, I answer questions. A lot of their questions are on the back of the flyer. If you need that flyer, again, just let me know, we can send it to you. And then you just sign them up. Key is to keep it simple. And of course, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Of course, there's other acronyms out there, but nobody wants to be first or last. So you let them know, look, we're already active in multiple cities across the nation. We're getting ready to open up this area. And so I just wanted to show you how much value we're going to provide. You know, have a notebook to be able to take notes, things like that. It just makes it super easy. Now, here's how you complete the process. And this is really important, knowing how to do this, because I have talked to people that try to make this process. In fact, I am one of those that initially, as I was talking with them, I made it into this long process, and you don't want to do this. This is actually super easy, super quick. All that I do, I don't even pull up the site, the link to refer them or to sign them up. I just write it all on my notebook that I brought in with me. So I don't do anything else other than using my phone to show them the video, that 4minutevid.com. Aside from that, I just write everything else on the notebook, and then I transfer it later on after we're away from them. Again, you want to keep everything off their plate as much as possible. And so what you need is their name, address, phone number, email, logo, and their menu. So most of this you can get online. Obviously, ask them to email your logo or email their logo to you. You're going to get their name, their address. In other words, restaurant address you can get online, so you don't need to ask them for it. Their restaurant phone number, again, you can get that online. Their restaurant email address, you can usually get it online. I would check before you go in, so that you don't need to ask them for it. But I would definitely get their personal phone number for the restaurant owner, and usually it's on their business card, so ask for the business card. And their email address, again, is usually on their business card. But verify those with them, because you want to be able to contact the restaurant owner directly after that. You don't want to go through the avenue of kind of going through the gatekeeper or whatever. So get that information from the menu. We can usually scrub online if they do have DoorDash or Uber Eats or something like that. We can just scrub the menu from their account with another company if they need to change the prices because they increase their prices with DoorDash, for example. Just tell Snap Delivered to scrub their menu from online, and then we will change the prices ourselves. Snap Delivered has so many menus that they scrub online. They just don't have the time to change the price as well. So that would be your job to go and do that. So here's how you do that. you get their information, then you get your referral link, and you get your referral link by going to this site here. It's snapdeliveredteam.com. And if you go over on the left-hand side, you'll see my referrals link. You click on that, and then you click on merchant customers, and copy the link. And so then I'm going to go up here to a, I'm just going to type it here. I'm going to paste it. So after I copy that, now you paste it. So I will not, I did this initially where I would fill this out with the merchant. Don't do that. Do it yourself. And so type in the information after you've already left the restaurant. So you're no longer with the restaurant owner. You go in and you type in this information that you gathered from them. Use a password that you create. Figure one out and use it the same password for every restaurant. And the reason why I'm telling you to do this is that you want access to their page, so that as Snap Delivered sets up the menu, you want to be able to go in and make sure it looks nice, make sure that all the prices are correct, and then you go back to the restaurant and you show them the menu, and then you have them create a new password. Have them do it at that point. And if you want, just maybe even just tell them the password and have them use that from then on out, so that you continue to have access to it. But the point is, if they want to, do it, keep it secure, whatever, they can change the password later. Do not do this with them, otherwise you're not going to have access, and then it's going to be really hard for you to, go back every time that you want to make sure that the menu is set up correctly. You have to go through them, make sure that they're there or something, and it's a lot more hassle. And so you want to just have access to it as you get it set up, and then as it's set up, of course, go in and bring them on board and let them see how professional it looks and so forth, so that you're taking as much, again, off their plate as possible. So hope that makes sense. Going back here, once you have this information, not only are you going to sign them up, but you're also going to send an email to merchants@snapdelivered.com and also Alex@snapdelivered.com. Alex is over the merchants team, and I would include all the information from that's listed there, along with your referral ID. If you don't know where your referral ID is, again, it's just on that that page. In fact, if you use your link, you can see up top there, my number is right there. It says code equals, and it'll show you what your code is. And then also, I believe it's, I'm not 100% sure. I know that I saw it somewhere else, but anyway, that's where you can find it. And then if you, again, once you type in that referral, or you copy that referral link, it'll automatically put your referral code down here. So you can see what mine is right there. Anyway, so going back to here, you want to send that email when you set up the account online. Also, at the same time, send that email to merchants and Alex, and they will, of course, make sure that that is linked to you. I just always like to do that just to make sure that there's no question that those merchants are linked to me, and that they know that, hey, these are accounts that you need to set up. Typically, they won't start scrubbing menus until you have like 5. They want to make sure that you're serious and that you're actually going out getting restaurants, because you need at least 10 restaurants, 10 delivery drivers in a 5-mile area to open up an area. And so they're going to make sure that you're getting close to that number before they spend the time and effort scrubbing it and making sure that you're serious. So next slide here, just the follow-up. So this is the last slide. Check back with the owner regularly to maintain the relationship. You don't just want to stop in one time, get that set up, and then let them know what your expectations are. Hey, we're looking at opening up this area in a month. You probably don't want to do less than a month, because as you're first starting, because you're going to have to bring on 10 restaurants and 10 delivery drivers, and you want to get the restaurants on board before you bring on the delivery drivers, so that the delivery drivers know that they have somebody that they're delivering for, so you can show that them. And doing the delivery driver, getting that set up, that's another video, another time. I have a process for that as well. Communicate with the Snap Delivered merchants team to let them know where you are at in the process. So as you continue to bring on more restaurants, let them know where you're at in the process, how many restaurants you have on board. Let them know that you're excited. Once you have close to 10 restaurants and 10 drivers in a 5-mile area, communicate your urgency to open the area. Let them know that you're getting close, and so that they know to kind of up the game a little bit and make sure that those are all up and ready for you. Once the restaurant is set up on the app, check the menu, make sure that it looks nice and is consistent. Kind of already went over that. Schedule a time to sit down with the restaurant owner and show them the online menu and get their commitment to launch. So that's really the whole process that I use. You know, I was doing it part-time and got eight restaurants on board in a week, in 5 days, doing that Facebook Live event thing. So it's absolutely something, if you want to do this full-time, you know, that's how you do it. You're just out there talking with restaurants, communicating. You're using you're going above and beyond in areas that are going to help them out. So hope that helps. If you do have any questions, let me know. Again, my name is Eric Jones. Talk to the person who got you set up with this presentation, and we'll talk to you later.